So hi there students, welcome back to another video lesson. So after nating ma-discuss yung operations on polynomials, so our next video lesson has something to do with special products. So connected pa rin po ito dun sa multiplication of polynomials. Kaya lang, kung bakit naging special products, yan ang i-discuss ko. So for our lesson objectives, so we will use algebraic methods to find the following. So the product of two binomials, the product of the sum and difference of two terms, the square of a binomial, the cube of a binomial, and lastly, the product of a binomial and a trinomial. So let's have special products. So in mathematics, special products is a term in which factors are combined to form products. They do not need long solutions. That is why they are considered special. Okay, so ang special product, so isa po yan sa mga topics sa algebra na kadalasang ginagamit sa mga polynomials. Okay, so special products, kino-combine yung mga factors para maka-form ng products, of course, yung results sa multiplication. And then, bakit sila naging special? It's because hindi nila kailangan ng mahabang solusyon. So, may mga special formula sila na ginagamit na tanging sa kanila lang po ina-apply. So, let's start. So, let's have the first one, product of two binomials. So, to refresh you with binomials, so binomial is a polynomial with two terms. So product of two binomials. So to multiply a binomial by another binomial, use the FOIL method. So ito yung ginagamit na common method para i-multiply ang isang binomial sa isa pang binomial. So ibig sabihin ng FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last. So, madali po yung pagpo-multiply ng mga binomials gamit ang FOIL method. And then, FOIL method is only applicable to multiplying binomials by another binomial. So, yan. As you can see, the two binomials are being multiplied. So, a plus b times c plus d. So, yung dalawang first term dyan na magsisilbing f is yung a tsaka c. So, i-multiply yon. And then, yung O naman, yung outer, yun po yung A, tsaka D. And then, inner, yung kabaliktaran ng outer, yung mga nasa loob, B and C. And then, finally, yung dalawang last terms, B and D. So, if we will multiply those binomials, our product will be AC plus AD plus BC plus BD. Okay, so yan po yung FOIL method. So let's have examples. So let's have number 1. So x plus 6 times x minus 5. So to apply by the FOIL method, so yung una nating i-multiply yung dalawang first terms. So x times x. And then, yung outer terms, x times negative 5. So, after natin sa outer terms, inner terms naman. So, 6 times x. And then, yung dalawang last terms, 6 times negative 5. And then, ipe-perform lang natin yung operations. So, dito, i-apply pa rin po natin yung pag-multiply ng polynomials as well as yung laws of exponent. So like for example, x times x. So sa product rule, ina-add natin yung exponent or powers ng same bases. So magiging x squared ito. And then, x times negative 5, that is negative 5x. And then, 6 times x, that is 6x. And then finally, 6 times negative 5, that is negative 30. And then, we combine like terms. negative 5x and 6x. So negative 5x plus 6x is positive x. So since unlike sign po sila, we have to follow the sign of the bigger value and then we proceed to subtraction. So our final answer will be x squared plus x minus 30. Next, let's have 3y minus 2 times 2y plus 9. So first terms, 3y times 2y. And then, outer terms, 3y times 9. And then inner terms, negative 2 times 2y. And then finally, negative 2 times 9. And then we multiply. So 3y times 2y, that is 6y squared. And then 3y times 9, that is 27y. And then plus negative 2 times 2y, that is negative 4y. Plus negative 2 times 9, that is negative 18. And then we combine like terms. So 27y and negative 4y. So 27 plus negative 4y, that is 23y. So our final answer will be 6y squared plus 23y minus 18. So let's now move on to product of the sum and difference of two terms. So in order to get the product of the sum and difference of two terms, just add the product of the two first terms and the two last terms. So yung sum and difference po na yan, so kung mapapansin nyo yung formula, so pareho po yung mga terms and then nagkakaiba lang po sa operation. So ganyan po yung product of the sum and difference of two terms. So you can see, nag-iiba lang yung operation nila. So yung first binomial natin, plus po siya. So a plus b. Yung pangalawa naman, a minus b. So ang gagawin lang natin dito is imumultiply natin yung dalawang first terms. So a times a, that is a squared. And then, mumultiply natin yung dalawang last terms. So b times negative b. So that is negative b squared. So our answer will be a squared minus b squared. So i-add lang natin yon, kaya ganyan yung sagot. So para mas maintindihan nyo kung ano ba yung product of the sum and difference of two terms, let's have examples. So ayan. Ano ang mapapansin natin sa mga given terms? Pareho po sila ng terms, magkaiba lang po ng operation. So let's have number 1. So x plus 7 times x minus 7. So ang gagawin lang natin, i-multiply natin yung dalawang first terms. So magiging x times x and then plus the product of the two last terms. So 7 times negative 7. So x times x, that is x squared. So product rule. So i-add natin exponents ng same basis. And then 7 times negative 7. So that is negative 49. So our final answer will be x squared minus 49. Next, 5m minus 2 times 5m plus 2. So again, multiply natin yung dalawang first terms. So 5m times 5m plus the product of the two last terms. So negative 2 times 2. Ayan. So 5m times 5m, that is 25m squared. And then plus the product of negative 2 and 2 is negative 4. So susulat lang natin negative 4. So our final answer will be 25m squared minus 4. So that's how you do it. So yun lang po yung process ng product and sum and difference of two terms. So multiply the two first terms plus the product of the two last terms. So, yung next natin is square of a binomial. So, in order to square a binomial, follow these steps. So, yung una nating step is square the first term. So, since binomial yon, dalawang terms po yon. So, yung unang step nga natin, square the first term. So, ibig sabihin, yung first term, imumultiply natin sa sarili niya. And then, the second step is twice the product of the first and last terms. So, pag mumultiply natin yung first and last term, and then, imumultiply natin yung product na yon sa 2. And then, yung third step natin is square the last term. So, kung kanina, in-square natin ang first term, and then, yung last step natin, square the last term. Ayun. And then, finally, add the results from steps 1 to 3. So, after nating ma-perform yung operation sa steps 1 to 3, i-add lang natin yung mga naging results. And then, you can also use the following formulas. So, sa square binomial, so since special product nga sila, may formula silang sinusundan. So, ayan. So, dalawa po yung formula na susundan dahil dalawa ang pwedeng maging operation na nasa gitna ng dalawang terms ng binomial. So, it's either positive or negative. So, square natin yung first term, which is a, kaya naging a squared. And then, twice the product of the first and last terms. So, a times b, that is ab, and then twice the product nga, kaya naging 2ab. And then, square the last term, b times b, kaya naging b squared. And then, same with the next one. So, ang pinagkaiba lang po nito is yung operation sa gitna. Okay, so our answer will be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So let's have examples. So let's have number 1. So the quantity of 2x plus 3 squared. So apply natin yung steps ng square of binomial. So we square the first term. So magiging 2x, the quantity of 2x squared, and then plus, so twice the product of the first term, 2x, and then the last term, 3. Then finally, we square the last term, 3. So 3 squared. And then we perform the operation. So 2x times 2x, that is 4x squared. Plus, so the product of 2x, and 3 is 12x. And then square the last term, 3, that is 3 times 3, 9. So 3 times 3 is 9, hindi po siya 3 times 2. So our final answer will be 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. And then our next example, so the quantity of 3x minus 8y squared. So we square the first term, 3x. And then twice the product of the first term and the last term. So 3x times negative 8y. And then plus, square the last term, negative 8y squared. And then 3x times 3x, that is 9x squared. And then the product of the first and last term is negative 24y and negative 24xy times 2. That will become negative 48xy. And then we square the last term, negative 8y times negative 8y. So dahil negative times negative, it will become positive. So that will become 64y squared. So our final answer will be 9x squared minus 48xy plus 64y squared. So yung next type natin is cube of a binomial. So paano nga ba kinocube ang isang binomial? So first step natin is we have to cube the first term. So erase natin sa 3 yung first term. And then the second step, so square natin yung first term and then i-multiply natin sa last term, tsaka natin multiply yung product sa 3. And then yung third step natin ang kabaligtaran ng second step. So yung first term, i-multiply naman natin sa square ng last term. Tapos, kung ano yung naging product, i-multiply natin sa 3. And then, for yung fourth step natin, so kung cube natin yung first term, i-cube din natin yung last term. And then finally, we add the results from steps 1 to 4. So, i-add lang natin yung mga nakuha nating product sa 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we simplify. So, you can also use the following formulas. So, kagaya ng square of binomial, meron din pong formula na sinusundan ang cube of a binomial. So, ayan. So, yung una, the quantity of a plus b cube. So, yung steps natin doon, so cube the first term. So, a is the first term. So, a times a times a, kaya a cube. And then, square the first term. So, a times a, kaya naging a squared. And then times the last term, b, kaya a squared b. And then thrice the product, kaya naging 3a squared b. So, ang kabaligtaran ng 3a squared b is 3ab squared. Wherein, yung in-square naman natin dito sa third term is yung last term. Kaya naging b squared siya. Ayan. So, 3ab squared. And then, cube the last term. Kaya naging b cube. So, for a minus b, the quantity of a minus b cube, so ganun pa rin, cube the first term. And then, thrice the product of the square of first term and the last term. So, kaya naging negative 3a squared b, it's because, yun nga, negative b. And then, paano naging positive 3ab squared? It's because yung negative, ini-square natin, ito, magiging positive. And then, yung last term naman natin, cube the last term. So, negative b cube. So, negative b times negative b, that is positive b. Another negative b, kaya naging negative b cube. So, let's have examples. So, yung una nating example is the quantity of 3x plus 5y cube. So, ang gagawin natin, cube the first term. So, that is the quantity of 3x cube. And then, thrice the product of the square of the first term. So, magiging 3x square times the last term, 5y. And then, next, thrice the first term and the square of the last term. Ayan. And then, cube the last term. Ayan. So, i-perform lang natin yung operation. So, 3x times 3x, that is 9x squared. Another 3x, kaya magiging 27x cubed. Next, 3 times, so the quantity of 3x squared, that is 9x squared. Times 5y. Plus, so 3 times 3x, and then the square of 5y, that is 25y squared. And then, cube the last term. So, 5y times 5y times 5y, that is 125y cubed. And then, 27x cubed plus, so the product of 3, 9x squared, and 5y is 90x squared y. And then, yung third term naman, so 3 times 3x, that is 9x, times 25y squared, this will be 225xy squared. And then, plus 125y cubed. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung unang variable, yung x, pababa siya. X cubed, x squared, x, until yung sa last term niya, wala ng x. And then naman yung y, pataas. So, y squared, y cubed. So, next naman natin, so the quantity of 2p minus 7r cubed. So, cube the first term, 2p. And then, plus 3 times the square of the first term times the last term. And then, plus 3 times the first term times the square of the last term. And then, plus the cube of the last term. So 2p times 2p times 2p, that is 8p cubed. Next, plus 3 times, so the square of 2p, 4p squared, times negative 7r, plus 3 times 2p, and then the square of negative 7r, 49r squared. And then square the last, cube the last term, negative 7r times negative 7r times negative 7r. So that will become negative 343r cubed. And then we simplify. So sulat lang natin ulit 8p cubed. And then the product of 3, 4p squared, and negative 7r is negative 84p squared r, plus the product of 3, 2p, 49r squared is 294pr squared, and then minus 343r cubed. So our final answer will be 8p cubed minus 84p squared r plus 294pr squared minus 343r cubed. So kahit naman mahaba yung solution niya, ayan, kung makikita nyo, shortcut pa rin yan. So it's because special product nga ang pinag-uusapan natin. So may pattern siya na sinusundan. So yung last na type natin is the product of a binomial and a trinomial. Okay. So yung binomial, imumultiply natin sa trinomial. So binomial, 2 terms, and then trinomial naman, 3 terms. So to get the product of a binomial and a trinomial, just make use of the distribution method. So that is, distribute the terms of the binomial to each term of the trinomial, then simplify. So distribution method lang naman po ang gagawin lang natin dito para makuha yung product. So let's have example. So the quantity of x minus 8 times the quantity x squared plus 5x plus 4. So kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, i-distribute natin yung mga terms ng binomial sa kada term ng trinomial. So magiging ganito siya. So x times x squared plus x times 5x plus x times 4. So ayun, tapos na po tayo sa x. And then negative 8 naman. So plus negative 8 times x squared plus negative 8 times 5x plus negative 8 times 4. So, ayan. Simplify lang natin yan. So, x times x squared. So, 1 plus 2, that will become x cubed. And then x times 5x, 5x squared. X times 4, 4x. And then negative 8 times x squared, that is negative 8x squared. Negative 8 times 5x, negative 40x. Then finally, negative 8 times 4, negative 32. So is this the final answer? No. We still need to simplify. So, simplify natin siya by combining the like terms. So, yung mga terms na magkakamuka. So, x cubed, as you can see, wala naman siyang kamukhang term. So, write down lang natin siya. And then 5x squared. Tsaka negative 8x squared. So, 5x squared minus 8x squared. That is negative 3x squared. And then 4x minus 40x. So, that is negative 36x. And then we copy negative 32. So, the product of x minus 8 and x squared plus 5x plus 4 is x cubed minus 3x squared minus 36x minus 32. So, after nating i-discuss yung special products, our next lesson will be So we will differentiate algebraic expressions, equations, and inequalities. So explain ko po yun sa susunod na video kung ano ang pinagkaiba ng tatlong yan. So yun lang. Maraming salamat.